The town of Everdell was known for its peace. Birds sang, children laughed. Life was simple, a gentle breeze on a summer day. Old man Hemlock often sat on his porch swing, watching the world go by. He had seen it all seasons change, children grow, and time flow like the river nearby. Yes, Everdell was a town where everyone knew everyone, and secrets were hard to keep, or so they thought. One crisp autumn evening, a moving van rumbled into Everdell. The air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves and the distant sound of children playing, their laughter echoing through the quiet streets. It stopped at the edge of town, in front of the old Blackwood Manor. The manor had been abandoned for years, its once grand facade now a shadow of its former self, cloaked in ivy and mystery. The manor stood on a hill, overlooking the town with empty windows like watchful eyes. It was a place of many stories, whispered among the townsfolk, tales of ghosts and secrets long buried. A tall, thin man with pale skin and eyes as dark as night emerged from the van. His presence was almost spectral, as if he belonged to another time, another world. His name, he told Mrs. Peabody, the ever-inquisitive next-door neighbor, was Mr. Crane. Mrs. Peabody, with her keen eyes and sharper tongue, was the unofficial historian of Everdell, and she was determined to uncover every detail about the new arrival. He kept to himself, rarely seen in town except for brief trips to the general store. His movements were deliberate, almost calculated, as if he were always aware of being watched. His arrival stirred whispers, a ripple in the stillness of Everdell. The townspeople, with their penchant for gossip, speculated endlessly about Mr. Crane. Who was he? Why had he come to Everdell? And what secrets did he bring with him? The questions hung in the air unanswered as the town watched and waited. The first to vanish was Old Man Hemlock. One day he was on his porch swing, the next gone. The townsfolk searched high and low, but the old man had disappeared without a trace. Then little Timmy, known for his adventurous spirit, went missing. He vanished from his backyard, his red toy truck lying abandoned in the grass. Fear began to grip the hearts of the townspeople. What was happening in their peaceful town? Where could they have gone? A shadow had fallen upon Everdell. Section 4, Whispers and Shadows. Whispers of Mr. Crane and his possible connection to the disappearances started to spread like wildfire. Some townsfolk claimed to see strange lights emanating from the manor at night. Others spoke of eerie sounds, whispers carried on the wind, that seemed to originate from the direction of the old house. Fear turned to suspicion, and suspicion to paranoia. The townspeople, once so trusting, now eyed each other with suspicion. The once peaceful Everdell was slowly being consumed by fear. Section 5, the sheriff's visit. Sheriff Brody, a man of reason and law, decided to pay Mr. Crane a visit. He walked with a heavy heart, the weight of the town's fear on his shoulders. As he approached the manor, a cold wind swept through the trees, sending shivers down his spine. He knocked on the old oak door, its surface cold and strangely damp. The door creaked open, revealing Mr. Crane standing in the shadows. His eyes, dark and unreadable, met the sheriff's. Section 6, a chilling confession. Inside, the manor was dark and dusty, a place long forgotten by time. The air was thick with the scent of decay, a pungent reminder of its abandonment. Cobwebs hung like macabre decorations, draping every corner and crevice. The only sound that broke the oppressive silence was the relentless ticking of an old grandfather clock, echoing through the halls. Mr. Crane, his voice a dry whisper, confessed to the disappearances that had plagued the town for years. He spoke of an ancient hunger, a darkness that resided deep within him, one he couldn't control. This darkness, he claimed, was insatiable, driving him to commit unspeakable acts. He claimed the missing townspeople were now at peace, their suffering ended by his hand. The sheriff, horrified by the confession, drew his gun, his hands trembling with fear and anger. But Mr. Crane simply smiled, a chilling, empty smile that sent shivers down the sheriff's spine, and turned towards the fireplace as if seeking solace in the flickering flames. The fire crackled softly, casting eerie shadows on the walls, as if the manor itself was alive and watching. The sheriff, conflicted and unsure, slowly lowered his gun, realizing the depth of Mr. Crane's madness. Outside, the moon cast a pale light over the manor, a silent witness to the chilling confession within. Mr. Crane's eyes, filled with an unsettling darkness, seemed to bore into the sheriff's soul, leaving him haunted by the encounter. The manor, now silent once more, held its secrets tightly, the chilling confession echoing in the sheriff's mind. Section 7. The Everlasting Shadow. This chapter delves into the haunting mysteries that plagued the small town of Everdell, a place where shadows seem to have a life of their own. In the fireplace, the flames danced, casting flickering shadows on the walls. These shadows seemed almost alive, moving with a rhythm that was both mesmerizing and unsettling. And in those shadows, the sheriff saw them, the faces of the missing, their eyes wide and empty. Each face told a story of despair and loss, a silent scream for help that echoed through the darkness. Mr. Crane, driven by a desperate need to uncover the truth, stepped into the flames. His form was consumed by the fire, a sacrifice to the unknown forces that held the town in their grip. He let out a piercing scream, a sound that would haunt the memories of those who heard it. Then he vanished, leaving behind only ashes and a lingering chill that seemed to seep into the very soul of Everdell. The disappearances in Everdell stopped, but the fear remained. The townsfolk could never shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the shadows held secrets they were not meant to uncover. The town had faced a darkness it could never forget, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left buried. Everdell became a ghost town, a place where the past lingered like a shadow, always present, always watching.